Okay. So Shanti part first. Om Pranaya Namo.
Om Pranaya Namo.
Yasya Sarvamidam Vashe.
Yasya Sarvam Idam Vashe.
Yo Bhutah Sarvasyeshwaro.
Yo Bhutam Sarvasyeshwaro.
Yasmin Sarvam Pratishtitam.
Yasmin Sarvam Pratishtitam.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, so any questions?
Yeah, I had a question that you talked about the three loks. No, I'm not very clear. So one was the Bhulok,
Huh.
sorry, Dyulok.
Dyulok, Bhulok also. Yes.
And
Antariksha Lok.
Antariksh. Okay.
Yeah, so on a microcosmic level, you can see it as your planet and your sun and the space in between. And on a macrocosmic level, all suns are all stars are Dyulok, all planets are Prithvi Lok or Bhulok, and all the intervening space is Antariksha.
So Dyulok is the all the suns.
Yeah, all the suns are covered under, all luminous bodies are Dyulok.
Dyulok.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting classification. No? Thanks.
Most welcome. It is a established fact.
Established.
Yeah,
Okay.
all luminous bodies are Dyulok. All non-luminous, that means even the moon actually is Prithvi Lok only, or Bhulok. And all space is Antariksha Lok. So you see, everything gets covered in these three lokas. But then you can start subdividing and saying, okay, like in Prashnopanishad, we are finding Chandramasa Lok. So Chandrama Lok. So that means the lunar thing he has separated out. So that also, then these are all subdivisions which, depending on the context, the author can take liberties.
Okay. One, of course, a stupid.
No, nothing is stupid, Shalda, don't worry.
Yeah, it's good that you take it that way. But in some of the older things that was passed down, we normally had three loks, which was Bhulok, Swargalok, and Padal Lok. So it doesn't come like that anywhere. It's not never like that in any literature thing.
Padalok.
Padalam we say actually.
Patal. Oh, okay.
Patal Lok.
Patal.
Actually,
Yes,
Patal.
yes. So these
Okay, so-
are the lokas of the Puranas. So in
Okay.
Puranas, you will find these three lokas. So, Prithvi Lok is like the surface of earth, and Swarga Lok is somewhere above there in the sky, and Patal is somewhere below the earth.
No. Okay.
Yeah, so all the devas are living in Swargalok, and Manushas and other creatures are living on the surface, and the asuras are there in the Patal Lok. But all this started during the Purana time only.
Times late. Okay.
Putra, I have a question. This is while we were doing this shlok on that the 5 legs, the 12 forms, that was the Panchapadam Pitaram.
Correct, correct.
See, there you have mentioned that the soul sees and perceives things through the sense organs, and it is restricted to what the senses perceive. But I thought the soul is like, not affected by what the senses perceive, or that is a purely external thing, right?
Yeah, the senses are purely external, no doubt about that. But while you are in the body, your perception is limited by your body, by your senses. So that is why when the yogis are able to separate themselves from this connection, the connection that they have with the body, when they are able to break it, then suddenly their perception expands tremendously.
Okay,
And
okay.
that is why they say that they can see beyond walls, they can see great distances, they can see things which are very minute. So all that happens once this connection with the body is broken. Till
Okay.
then you are restricted by what the body has provided you.
Okay.
Okay, so recap now. I hope it was not too difficult. This 10th one, of course, is most interesting. Athotarena tapasa brahmacharyena. Who wants to take it up? Prashanti, you are on mute. Want to?
I can take up the 10th.
Can you hear me now, Uttaraji?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one question, and
Sure.
so again, I mean, just a blockage of my mind. So for Panchapadam also we are saying the sense organs, and Shadarahuhu also we are saying sense organs plus mind or Antahkaran, right?
Hmm.
So with Pada, is there a notation or notion of movement? So like Anuj was suggesting, should we take it as Panchaprana?
Mm-hmm.
And that way, there is no sense repeating also.
So that is why actually, see, even in the Adidevic earth, and there are 5 seasons and 6 seasons. Okay, so that repetition is coming because atheme anye. So he's saying, and others are saying. Okay, so when you have said that others are saying, then you can repeat, because the first people are splitting it this way, and the second set of people are splitting it this way, and there could be some overlap between the two. So that is possible. Now, as far as Adidavic earth is concerned, as I told you, I am not very, very sure about it. I am just giving based on my own knowledge of what all divisions are possible. Why I am saying that this Panchapada is possibly in the is because you are situated on them, okay, on your feet, and so these are providing you a situation in the world, these sense. But that is again a very weak argument, I would say. So you can take Panchaprana also, that is also fine, no issue.
Actually, I have something to say here on this particular one, which is, you remember that day also I was saying that
I was going to ask you about those 12 stages.
Yeah, so what I feel, I mean, one interpretation can be, when we talk of the soul and the 12 forms, so we can, usse pehle, we are talking about the 5 senses, and the next part is we are talking of the Puri or the Pur, the body, right? So if we look at the Kathopanishad, section 2, verse 1, it talks about 11 gates that we have. Okay, and that with, I mean, so what I was trying to just look it up. So maybe that with the mind and intellect as one, which, controls it, that would make 12. And then we talk of the next part, that the soul stays in the upper part. the first half of the body or the puri.
Hmm.
And then the 7 wheels or the become the karmendriyas, where the hand and the feet are counted as 2 each. So that makes it 7.
Hmm.
And then if we look at the 6 spokes, that is the 5 Gyanendriya plus the mind and the intellect again, which controls that, which perceives. So this was another interpretation which we may like to look at. I mean,
so what are you saying? What is the 12 thing?
12 is the 11 gated body. When we're talking of the form, this is also mentioned in the Kat Upanishad.
So this 11 doors, no?
Plus 1. 11 plus 1, that is the form of the body.
But these are Dvadashakriti, means 12 different.
It is 11 actually, and in certain cases, that also can be interpreted as a.
That's possible
One is that.
because in a way you are saying that it is the form of the body, so that way Akriti does fit into it. So it's possible. But anyway, whatever we discuss, it will be only a hypothesis since we are not very sure about this one.
Absolutely.
So it's okay. No point in racking our brains too much on this. Okay. So let us move on to the recap. So who wants to take up the 10th one?
I could take up.
Okay.
So first the Adidaivika meaning. The Panchapadam being the 5 seasons of the year.
No, the one before that. Before that, Athotarena Tapasa.
Oh, Athotarena Tapasa Brahmacharyena Shraddhaya Vidyayatmanam Atishya Adityam Abhijayante. Ata Uttarena, in the Uttarayan, Tapasa, with the austerity, Brahmacharyena, of course, keeping your Indriyas under control, with faith in the Vedas and trust in the Vedas. Vidyaya, with the knowledge, Atmanam Avishya Adityam Abhijayante. So you will reach to the, you will understand your soul, or with the jnana, you will searching for the soul, you will conquer this body and attain the knowledge of the soul, or attain Aditya itself. Aditya Abhijayante, attain the Aditya.
Right. Okay. Anybody else wants to take up now? Etad Vaya Prana Nam Ayatanam, Etad Amritam, Abhayam, Etad Parayanam, Etasmat na Punaravartanti.
Yeah, so that is that. This is the people who are following the path of the Tap, Brahmacharya, Shraddha and Vidya, which is like the sun moving in the Uttarayan or on the Devayan track, right? The previous verse talked about the people who go to the Dakshinayan and they are reborn. So such people, the people who are following the Uttarayan path using the Tap, Brahmacharya, Shraddha and Vidya and searching for the soul, for the Atman, they discover the Atman, which is the Pranaha of Pranas, is eternal or immortal, and it is fearless because it has nothing to fear since it owns, or it has nothing to lose. So they reach the ultimate goal of the soul, and once they reach there, they achieve moksha and are liberated from the cycle of birth and death. And in the sun, I mean, as a metaphor for the sun, broadly, I mean, it doesn't fit too well. So such souls live on the sun, and because it supports the souls, and it has, compared to the beings and other things, it has a longer life and is without fear. So that's how broadly we can interpret it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Then this one, Panchapadam Pitaram. Who wants to take it up?
I can try.
Yeah, sure.
Here again, there are 2 meanings. The first one, the Adi Devika is talking about the sun. And here we say that the sun is the all-encompassing protector of the universe. And one school of thought is that talks about the 5 legs, which is the 5 seasons, and the 12 forms, which could be the 12 months. And it is situated in the northern or the superior part, which is the Dewloka. So, and since it is
superior part of the Dewloka.
Dewloka.
Yeah.
And since it is above, it also gives the light through which we are able to see. So it gives us literally, able to see. And also as it travels north, it causes rain because it sucks up the water. So it basically nourishes life. So that is the sun. And the second school of thought is also that it sits in a chariot made with 7 wheels, which could be the colors of the rainbow. And the 6 spokes, because each color has its own properties.
Yeah.
But the Adhyatmika meaning, of course, it is purely about the soul. And here the 5 legs, or what we talk about, is the 5 senses of perception. And all our knowledge that the soul gets is through these senses. So it is the source of knowledge. And the 12 forms now, Deepa has given a different perspective to it. And it is situated in a superior place because it is situated in the cave of the mind. So it is a superior place. And since it is in a higher position, it gives us the power, the whole body, the power. And about that 7 wheels and all that, the 7 is the organs of action, what you had explained. And the 5 would be the 6 would be the sense organs and the mind together. So
yeah. And Purishinam?
Purishinam is no, Hindi, sorry. 1 minute, let me see.
So it resides in the Puri, that is the body.
The one who sleeps in the city, that is our body. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Pitaram?
Pitaram. Okay, it is the head of, like I said, the sun is all encompassing. Pitaram, it is the controller of the body. Is that the
Protector.
Protector.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as the sun, it is the protector of life, and as the soul, it is the protector of the body.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, then Masovaya Prajapatis, just come to you, Shanti.
Oh my God, I can't do that.
This is very easy. Go on.
Next time I will try.
Achha, okay. So who wants to take up this one, Masovaya Prajapatis?
I could take up.
Yeah, go ahead, Shanti.
COVID looks like such a bad cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, season. Again, these continual rains stop me from performing well.
Yeah.
Okay, so here Masovai Prajapati. So Prajapati again being the protector of all the beings. Here he is depicted as the Masa, month. In that we have Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha, waning and waxing moon. So the people who are performing like Ishtapurta karmas and all that, they will, supposedly like, they are going in the path of dark fortnight, and they will again verily come back. They will only gain wealth. Whereas the people who are performing the, yajnas and trying to understand the knowledge, of the Parabrahman, they will verily get moksha. So that is what here. Again, if you go to the Adhyatmic thing, Krishna is referred to as the darkness, as in ignorance, and Shukla is referred to the brightness, which is Jnana. So, when you gain the knowledge of the soul, you will be liberated. But if you are going to to, involve yourself in the karmas, ishtapurta karmas, then you will be keeping on coming back and you will gain wealth. That's what the connotation.
Yeah, I think I lost my this thing in the beginning little bit, my attention. I presume what you said is correct only. Okay, so let us start with the 13th one. Ahoratro va prajapatis
Ahoratro Prajapatis
tasyahareva prano
Tasyahareva
prano
ratrireva raihi
ratrirevaraihi
pranam vaete praskandanti
pranam vayete praskandanti
ye divaratya sanyujante
divaratya sanyusyante
Sanjyate
brahmacharyam eva tad
brahmacharyam eva tat
yadratroratya sanyujyante
yadratroratya sanyusyante.
So in this verse, starting from the year Samvatsar, we went to Maas, and now we have come to the day, which is Ahoratra. Ahana means the bright part of the day, and Ratra is from Ratri. So Ahoratra is depicted as Prajapati, where Ahaha, same as Ahana, is Pranaha. Okay, the bright part is pranaha, and the dark part is rahi. Same thing we are following. So pranam va ete praskandanti. Now Prashanti, can you mute yourself please? Thank you. So it says that those people who perform copulation during the day, they are uh, they are losing their life. They are they're shortening their life. And those who copulate in the night, they are performing brahmacharya only. So in the middle of all this, the acharya, he gives some very important but basic knowledge about procreation as well. So this is something, which has been known in the Indian tradition for very long, and those of you who studied Manusmriti would remember that Manu has given even in greater detail some of the restrictions which are there for performing the act of procreation, which leaves actually at the end of it, in a month only some 3-4 days are left. So I think in today's times it's completely impossible to follow. But anyway, at least this what Acharya Pipalad has said, that don't perform the act during the day but only during the night. And when you perform during the night, it is equal to brahmacharya only. See, this is the distinction which again and again we are hitting into, and which you have to expand your mind to be able to accept it, that words do not have a single meaning. So brahmacharya has a different connotation for those who are married, and it has a different connotation for those who are following the path of yoga, who have taken sannyas and who have seriously taken up the spiritual path. So for those who are in the grahast ashram, for them performing this act is important, because you have to produce children. And for them, this if they have this much control that they don't do the act in the daytime but only in the night, that itself is a mental control, and therefore it is brahmacharya. So Acharya Goenka, I follow one of the books which I follow mostly, which all of you have, I think, which I had shared with you from Gita Press. He has given one more meaning for this, and the second sentence. He says that those who have taken up the bright path, the Uttarayan, the Devayana. So those who have taken up that, for them it is not allowed to perform this act. They have to, for them, strict brahmacharya is required. But those who have followed the Dakshinayan, for them, as long as they perform in the night, it is brahmacharya only. Okay, so he has given one more additional meaning here, and that's about it. Any questions here? I think that's easy enough. So let us move into the next one. Annam ve prajapatis. Please repeat after me.
Anno vai prajapatis.
Tato have tadretas.
Tato have
Tadretas.
Tasmadimah prajaha.
Tasmadimah
prajaha
Prajayanta iti.
Prajayanta iti.
So now in this statement, Pippalad says that Anna, that is food itself, is the protector of beings, is a Prajapati. Tataha have tat retas. From that, Reta is created. Ret is what? Literally, or rather in Lokik Sanskrit, it is semen. But actually, you should consider it as DNA. So from food, DNA is generated. Tasmat imaha prajaha prajayante. From that, these beings are born. Okay. So if you take the meaning as semen, then you will be restricted to only a very small set of beings which have copulation in them. But when you take it as DNA, then it covers all the beings, because there is not a single being which does not have DNA. If not DNA, at least they have RNA like vectors, like viruses. So Retas should be read as actually genetic material, that is DNA. So now here, I'll tell you one interesting story here. I was talking to with my Guruji on this issue about the creation of beings. And then she told me she has not studied, she's more a grammar person, and she has not studied the Upanishads too much, and she's a Vedas person. So she has not studied the Upanishads too much. So she told me that one of the acharyas in her Gurukul told her that semen is created from anna. And anna, typically it means grains like wheat, rice, etc. On a broader level only, it means food. So she said that according to him, the Upanishads have declared that semen is generated from, say, wheat. So I told her, no, it does not mean that. It means that once you take in food, then you are in a position to be able to procreate by whichever form the being uses for procreation. So that is actually the meaning here. I will explain a little bit more on this, but I'll just complete this first. So what this is saying, that until food has appeared on a place of habitation, till then you cannot have beings coming up. For the beings to come, first the food has to be available. So if we consider that plants came first, say algae, unicellular creatures came first, they have to have their inorganic food available to them. Algae basically eat sunlight. So that food has to be available to them to be able to procreate and progress. Till you have, till the time that food is not available, you cannot have beings there. That is the meaning over here. Now, I would like to illustrate. You people also, I think, are having a little bit of a doubt about what I am, the extended meanings that I'm telling you. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more on this issue. See, our forefathers were great thinkers, so they split they studied this, how to understand the meaning from language. Okay, language is never a perfect tool for communication. It is only a half tool. So sometimes the meaning is not clear. Like in this case, you could take it that directly from anna, semen is generated. So they said that there are three types of meanings which are there. So the first meaning is the vachyartha, which is the literal meaning. Okay, so that is this meaning that from grain semen is generated. The second is called lakshyartha. That is that there is some sign you use instead of the thing itself. Okay, for example, in everyday life, we say, taxi, come here. Now, we are actually not addressing the taxi. We are calling the taxi driver, but we don't say, taxi driver, come here. So we have associated the taxi as the main sign of that man. So we call him taxi only. Okay, so like that, there are many usages which are there in which you associate a particular distinguishing feature as the thing itself and call it by that name. That is called lakshya arth. Then there is a third artha which is called vyangya arth, which is indirect interpretation. So this previous one was direct interpretation, where the symbol or the sign was that things itself. Now this is an indirect interpretation. So to give you an example of that, I thought of one sentence that in ancient Rome, games created the Colosseum. Okay, now since you are so familiar with the English language, also you are familiar with the items in this sentence, it is very clear to you that I am not saying that two gladiators having a fight, mysteriously some bricks started appearing and the Colosseum started getting generated, right? It is, even if now I said that games led to the creation of the Colosseum, you would still understand, the meaning would be clearer, and yet it is not actually 100% clear. You have understood from the context what I am trying to say. If I have to convey the full meaning, I will have to say that in ancient Rome, games became so popular that to accommodate the extra audience, a Colosseum was created. See, now this big long sentence has been shortened by saying games created the Colosseum. So this is called Vyangyarth. And that is what we are seeing over here. Tataha ha eva tad retas. From anna only ret is produced. It is a Vyangyarth. It is not to be read directly. And that is what I have been showing you throughout this Upanishad. That meanings are not to be read as is. There is generally a deeper interpretation which is there. So I hope that convinces you, and you don't doubt what I have been teaching you. Where I have where I am sure that this is unclear, there I do tell you. For example, that Panchapada, we all know that it is just a Some things we are putting in over there. There is no basis for our putting this or that. So it is unclear. However, the other things which I have been telling you, please take it as such. The Prajapati is not to be read as a single item. It is to be read differently in different places. See, if it was one item only, then from Samvatsar to Anna, how much we have moved. So this is the way of the Sanskrit people, because this text is so far back, and it is in Sanskrit, which is a knowledge, which is a language we are not, we don't know at this point. We want to have the Vachya Arth only, and any other Arth becomes difficult for us to handle. But it is, it was their spoken language, and they will use all three types of meanings. We can rest assured. Okay, I'll stop here, and we'll meet in the other session.